Hi folks, Ken Ring here of www.predictweather.com. It's the 26th of May and the moon's in Scorpio today, which is a pretty violent weather sign, and there's only 2 signs to go before it's at the furthest point south. There it is there, and as you can see it's pretty high in the sky. That means it looks like that at about 11 p.m. tonight, after rising about 4 p.m. and it will set tomorrow morning around 6 a.m. If you're looking for Venus in the sky next to the moon, well, you're not going to see that again until the middle of June, a couple of days either side of the 16th. I say that because somebody asked me today what the bright star was next to the moon. Well, it's actually not Venus. It's something called Spica, and further over there's one called Arcturus. So no, Venus isn't there. Anyway, we have the colder weather because of the moon being in the south. The cold brings the rain and the snow, depending on how far south you are. And a couple of days ago, the moon was the closest to the Earth for the month. A thing called the perigee, which has brought the extreme autumn weather to New Zealand in the form of strong winds and heavy rain, as always happens when the moon comes closer to Earth in the wintertime. As the moon moves away, and also as it stops moving south because it reaches its southern declination point, well, it slows down and the weather stays the same for a few days. In fact, what the weather was just before the southernmost point, the southern declination, usually carries through the southern declination, which is on the 29th, and a day or so after that. In other words, the weather becomes less changeable around the southern declination versus when the moon is crossing the equator, which it was doing on the 22nd, when the weather systems speed up. Then it's like the midpoint of a pendulum. It's crossing the equator there, and you get everything thrown at you in terms of changeability of weather. And that's the time when the weather services, the other guys, my opposition, although I think they're pretty good at what they do, but that's when they get it the most right. When the moon is at the southern declination, they get it the most wrong because the weather's going to be the same for the next day and the next day. So if you look at the sky now, you can pretty well say it's going to carry over until tomorrow. But when the moon's crossing the equator, that's when they're mostly getting it wrong, because you can't say by looking outside what it's going to be in terms of 24 hours time, because it could be completely different. So look, if you want to plan your skiing trips, either check out our snow report or find out when these southern declinations, when the moon's right in the south, as it's going to be happening in 4 days time, find out when they're going to happen in the coming months, and that will tell you when to drop everything and head for the slopes, or go out and cut the firewood, so you've got something to curl up in front of with a good book. Ken Ring, predictweather.com. Thanks for watching.